Ever help out a Nigerian prince, only get ghosted? What about those free V-Buck advertisements you might see while watching YouTube? Want some free Clash Royale points? Where we choose to allocate our money can have tremendous impacts, and everywhere there are people wanting money, your money, without working for it. Hey, it's Holden Hitchcock.
Alexis Cartwright.
And Nick Scruton. Today, we are talking about scams, spoofs, and fraud, and how you might fall victim to one of the many dubious online schemes.
We'll learn about the impact of money grifting, how to identify scams, and what to do in order to protect your friends and family from bad actors on the internet and beyond on Econic Talks.
So how have teens at Redwood been affected by scams? Let's start with local teen Sienna Garston.
I was trying to buy Harry Styles concert tickets. I took to Twitter because the prices were really high and I wanted to see if I could get a better deal, and started messaging someone that had posted on their Twitter about some cheap tickets with good seats. It really felt real. There was a profile picture and everything. And then it comes to the day we have to buy it and my dad was paying for it. They said, give $100 now, I'll send you the tickets, and then give $100 after I send them. And we got scammed and lost $100.
How is this happening? I thought we are supposed to be the tech-savvy ones.
Well, it seems almost like our age group has gotten a bit too cocky and almost overconfident in our risk assessment. Because according to the FBI, teens have lost over $101.4 million in just the last year to internet scams.
It's true. Despite young adults being the age group most vulnerable to targeting and online scams, we perceive the risk as less than any other age group. We tend to trust our own abilities to scope out and avoid financial scams.
What is shocking to me, the cybersecurity firm Gridware reported that 34% of men and 38% of women in their age groups have all fallen victim to online scams.
Okay, well, let's think about the main scams that affect young people on the internet and social media. One of the most obvious ones that comes to mind is online shopping. Some of the easiest ways to get got is by making payments on unsecure websites, vulnerable to hacking, or if the page itself was meant to trap you.
I also think it's worth noting that the more taboo or, quote, embarrassing scams need to be talked about more. During this age of online dating, it's important to be mindful of romance or catfishing scams, getting romantically attached to someone online only for them to ask for money or flake on you.
Having mutual friends, doing background checks, and making valuable in-person connections are important to avoid strangers taking advantage of your vulnerability. This goes into people being mischievous with your DMs.
Do you really think that a super generous donor on Instagram will invite you to their super exclusive business venture?
It's important to look at it with a critical eye. What these random people gain from helping forgive your student debt or offering you a grant or scholarship.
Pyramid schemes are pyramid-shaped. MLMs are triangle-shaped. Going into adulthood, scams become more sophisticated. One that preys on the average adult, traditionally housewives, are MLMs or multi-level marketing schemes. Let's suppose you want to get rich quick. This is how to run an MLM. Let's think of a pyramid. Sound familiar? But remember, we are talking about MLMs. Pyramid schemes are illegal, technically. At the top is you. You have a brand new product of gourmet weight loss gummy bears. Now you recruit redistributors, your friends. They pay you a small buy-in fee to join your team. They buy the gummy bears off of you for inventory. You're making money this way. Now they have a lot of gummy bears and they need to sell them. So they're going to recruit their own friends to join their team. And those friends of friends also pay you the buy-in fee. You're still making more money. And now those friends of friends are going to buy gummy bears off of you to beef up their inventory so they have gummy bears to sell. Again, you're making money. Now you've set a quota for how much each team needs to sell, and you will pay them when they meet this quota. But it doesn't really matter to you how much your teams are selling. You're getting paid anyways every time a new member joins or buys inventory off of you.
You know, Alexis, MLMs are very dangerous, but fraud of all kinds is all around us. And if you don't think it affects you, it most likely does. According to a report done by the Federal Trade Commission, 2.2 million Americans reported a total of $8.8 billion in losses due to money scams in 2022 alone. Whether it is a Nigerian prince, Elizabeth Holmes, or Jen Shaw on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, scams come in many shapes and sizes, affecting and targeting everyone. The FTC reported in 2021 that Gen Xers, Gen Z, and Millennials were 34% more likely to fall victim to scams than the average American, specifically investment scams involving crypto or online shopping mishaps. On the other hand, older victims generally have higher losses when it comes to financial scams. Older Americans are especially prone to scams involving tech support or fake sweepstakes, so next time your grandpa asks for help with a computer, just do it. Scams are no laughing matter. They affect everyone, including our friends and families. Okay, maybe we can laugh at all the rich teens that suffered at Fire Festival, but make sure to check in and support your friends or family. We all know someone who has been a victim of fraud.
But with all the different scams around, how do we really identify them? And how do we protect ourselves from them? So let's look at Amber, who just last year got scammed and hacked.
So I was just on my phone shopping on Shein, and I got to the checkout, and I saw this place at the bottom where it said that I could sign up for a promotion.
The advertised deal was a 40% off discount if you checked a box and signed into your Instagram account. Seems pretty straightforward.
It looked pretty legit. Like, it didn't seem out of the ordinary. I did question it a little bit, but it was part of the site. It wasn't a pop-up ad. And I've been pretty well informed on what scams on the internet look like. I really didn't feel like it was anything to be worried about, so I went ahead and I typed it in.
But when Amber checked the box and signed into her Instagram account, she fell right into the scammer's hands.
I got charged, but my order was never actually placed. And then I found out that I was locked out of my Instagram account, and the hacker had made a bunch of posts encouraging my friends to subscribe and use this random crypto investment agency. It was made clear to me when my friends reached out to me super concerned because they had posted a bunch of stuff to make it seem like I had made lots of money using the platform they were trying to promote.
Sounds a bit familiar to the MLMs Alexis was talking about a little bit before. As we've said before, the majority of scams just offer deals that sound too good to be true. They prey on our desires for easy payoff, and they should really be our first red flags. Scams are really just that. They're shallow facades. With a Google search and a little bit of time, a lot of those shallow facades start to fade away, and the true scam becomes blatantly obvious. If you can't find another place where that one advertisement was published, or you can't find the background information on that crypto trading website, it might just be a scam. Any website or service that has an initial buy-in fee should be a red flag that you do more research and look into it to make sure that it's not a scam. Using good internet habits drastically reduces your risk of encountering them. That means using good passwords and changing them frequently, making sure you're on the right website and checking that URL. There's a few common themes among these scams we've talked about today. And although being supposedly obvious, sometimes it's important to do a little recap.
It comes down to the inherent belief that people can get rich quick, and they use this idea to exploit you.
The scammer wants to circumnavigate hard work and labor by preying off of you. The idea of making a massive return on a safe and small investment is enticing, and that's how they emotionally manipulate you as well, by promising you easy money. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
And although you may be more educated than the average person,
Especially after listening to this podcast.
scams emotionally manipulate the vulnerable and the impaired.
What is tragic is that scams will target and follow victims of poor wealth distribution and inequality, and then exacerbate the situation far more.
These people are desperate. And if a stock investing portfolio or network looks like a reputable way to compound the money they worked so hard to earn, it's not foolish for them to bite.
Then the victim may be stripped of their assets and end up far worse than they were before. It's important to look at this empathetically.
It could even be as malicious as a false page for a charity, or a reputable page but no guarantee of where the money is going, or the charity fundraisers are pocketing a higher percentage than you're comfortable with.
It reminds me of the Red Cross lemonade stand Alexis told me about. She saw a family taking Venmo donations to their own card that they claimed would go to Red Cross. But how could we really know or guarantee that that would happen?
Not everyone can spare $50. Not everyone is educated on scams.
And not everybody has access to higher level education or time to educate themselves on internet security.
The more we break down the stigma and embarrassment of falling to scams, the more we can talk about it. And the more we can talk about it, the more we can prevent and shut down scams.
And the more we shut down scams, the more we protect people's livelihoods and create a safer and more honest environment on the internet.